Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back with Rahma Sugrianti. In this video, I want to review about one textbook. The title is English Vocabulary in Use for Elementary. I think this book is very good for us to learn English language, especially for beginners or for teacher who teach in elementary school level. So because it is review, I think it's more complicated than retell story novel like in my last video. So I will use PPT for explanation this textbook, and I will tell you my opinion about this. So I hope you can enjoy my video. So let's get started.
Okay, firstly, I will tell you about general information in this book, English Vocabulary in Use Elementary. I'll show you the cover, like this. Yes, violet cover. General information about this book. Title, English Vocabulary in Use Elementary. The author by McCharthy and Felicity. Publisher, Cambridge University Press, and published in 1999. Number of page 171. Genre, workbook. So a lot of exercises that must we do in this book. Okay, next. This is about the author, McCharthy. So he is a professor of applied linguistics at the University of Nottingham, UK. So he an expert on the teaching and learning of grammar and vocabulary. He is a co-author of Cambridge Grammar of English and the elementary, upper intermediate, and advanced level of English vocabulary in use. And the next author is by Felicity. Yes, Dr. Felicity is a part-time tutor at the Institute of Education, University of London, where she helps to run a course in online education and training. She is also chair of UCL's CAE writing paper and listening papers for the Cambridge Young Learner Test. For further information, you can check in website, especially in Cambridge website. Many of her books that I think recommended for you to learn English. Okay, chapters explanation. I will explain about this book chapter by chapter from chapter 1 until chapter 9. In chapter 1, learner training. So in this chapter, the most important chapter I think, because this chapter is explaining about the term that we must understand when we learn English language, like what is verb, for example, what is example of verb, what is adverb, what is adjective, and their example, like that. And next, the chapter 2 is everyday verbs. So this chapter explains about everyday verbs like go, have, walk, run, the very basic chapter that we often hear in daily activities. Next, in chapter 3, words and grammar. So this chapter explains about basic grammar we must know to make sentences in English, and in chapter 4 about people. So in this chapter, it's very the chapter the most I like, because this chapter is very useful. This chapter many phrases that we can found in daily activities. And the next chapter is chapter 5, the word. This chapter explains about country. So what is other country in English language, like Korean and Japanese and Europe, like that. So in chapter 6, at home. So this is interesting chapter too, because these chapters explain about food and drinks that we often found in daily activities, and the things that we look every day and what is in English. And next, chapter 7, school and workplace. So in this chapter, it's most introduce public place like library, secretary, school, and the workplace like factory, like that, and the useful phrases that we must know in daily activities, of course. And chapter 8, I like this chapter too, because leisure. This chapter explain about phrases in leisure time. And next is chapter 6, social issue. It's the most difficult chapter, I think, because this chapter explain about social issue in the general, like crime and the war and many other social issue in basic term, in basic vocabulary. So elementary school, I think in level elementary school will understand well about social issue in this chapter, because it's very simple in design in simple way.
Okay guys, how is it? Interesting, isn't it? I will tell my opinion about this book. This book is very simple. I think it's very simple because it's designed to elementary children. So the most part that I like in this book is the collocation. When I learned English for the first time, I think a little bit confused for use the similar verb like do and make. How I can the truth is I do homework or I do a mistake, I make my homework or I make my mistake. This book explains it, so it's very interesting book. So please like this.
Okay, this is for the example of collocation. The tip: always write down collocation when you learn a new word. So many of English phrases is used to complete one another, like by just true if you put by plane, by train, by bicycle, but not by foot. Foot is used on, not by. Also, good at language, not good in language. And also, tall man, not height man. This very useful explanation of collocation, so we can accurately make sentences in true way for beginner learners.
Yeah, and next, the most part that I like least in this book is the structure. For the first time, I opened this book in PDF. I little bit get confused because the structure of this book, no separation between chapters. So after chapter after chapter 1 to chapter 2 is inspiration. It's make me a little bit confused. So when I read the sub chapter about this chapter, I ask, is this the chapter in chapter 1 or in chapter 2, or I have entered the chapter 3? So it make me confused because in every chapter have their own theme for explanation and for discuss. I think it's more better if the books have variation between chapter, and also the animation. Because this book is for elementary design, I think the animation must be more interactive. It will be good, if this book have more interesting picture, interesting, maybe designed by color, it's more better, I think. Yeah, this is it, that I get boring with the picture sometimes, and the important one is the structure of this book.
This, for example, a learner training everyday verb. So in this chapter, not structure, not separation about not separation between chapter. Talking about language. After that, 2. Learning vocabulary. After that, 3. Have or had. If we look to the content, this subchapter 3 is in the two chapter. Chapter everyday verbs. Also in with go, when. So it's not separation between this book. So it's a little bit making me confused. And then you can look the picture. It's familiar picture, I think. Yeah, it's better if the picture can be more attractive, isn't it? So this is it, the most part that I like reading this book.
So I will give the score for understand this book. I give this book 3 score for understanding. This book is very simple book, simple workbook, many exercise in there, and I can understand it well, easy. So I give this 3 points. But sometimes in the last chapter, in chapter 9, is the most difficult chapter that I think must learn more in this chapter. So in many part is very easy, but in other part there is difficulties because I still learning English too. So this is my video. I hope I can make other videos, and I hope this video can be useful for us to choose the good book for learning English. So thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next time. Bye bye.